There is nothing that pisses off America's leadership class. There's nothing that angers Kamala Harris more than when a working class person in the heartland of this country complains about what a bad job she's doing. And you know, when you think about this charge that our leaders constantly make, they'll say, well, you don't want 20,000 low-wage migrants showing up in your town. You don't want to be evicted from your home to make way for 4 Haitian families who, by the way, are violating zoning laws to live in this house. You're a racist. That's what they'll say. Now think about this. What they're really doing is saying you are not allowed to speak up about our leadership screwing up. And when you realize this is the game that they play, I mean, look, you and I agree with this. I think we should genuinely endeavor to look at every human being as a child of God, whether they're black, white, brown, or anything else. I think that is an absolutely good principle. But I think that when our leaders call working class citizens who have almost no power in America in 2024, when they call them racist, it's not because they're trying to call them to some higher meaning. They're not trying to convince them to be more compassionate to their fellow man. They're trying to silence them and shut them up. And when you realize that our leadership is willing to take the compassion, like what's best in us, that we love our fellow man and we love our fellow Americans, and use it as a weapon to silence people, you realize that Kamala Harris and everybody like her, it is a disgusting game that they play, and we have to reject it.
It seems like nothing more than what our American leadership, government leadership hates more than accountability and criticism. I want to kind of hone in on this point that JD Vance has brung up on the Tucker Carlson clip that I just showed you guys leading into this video. And I want to highlight something very suspicious about what's going on with our government, right? Our government is supposed to be, I guess, neutral. And this is just my view. Maybe some people have a different view. But I think if you're working for the government, you shouldn't be allowed to endorse a presidential candidate, especially a presidential candidate that's currently in power. More than 3 dozen leaders of the CIA, along with the NSA and the Pentagon officials, unite to endorse Kamala, just as they unite to support Hillary and spread 2020 lies that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. If I was Dick Cheney, I'll also endorse Kamala Harris. And check this out. Look, 741 former high-ranking national security officials, 233 generals, and flag officers signed letters endorsing Kamala Harris for president. Hell, apparently the IRS even endorsed Kamala Harris. And this is some craziness over here. But it's to highlight some hypocrisy, because I made videos about how Democrats hate accountability. Bill Maher had to scold his audience for laughing about a second Trump assassination attempt. Like, imagine that. Imagine you're just trying to make a point. You know, you're Bill Maher, you're just trying to make a point, and your audience is doing stuff like this.
So let's not bury the lead. The big story this week, they tried to shoot Trump again. Let's not funny.
And these are the people who's going to lecture conservatives about tolerance, right? I mean, I'm coming for y'all today. Democrats really decided to piss me off this weekend. You know, I just tried to have a nice weekend. And, you know, I looked over the comment section. I see why creators, they say don't look at your comment section sometimes, but I love it. I think I thrive on that, because the fact that these people want to sit here in my comment section and try to give me this narrative about, oh, Trump's rhetoric is so bad, but they want to act like they're the more principled, moral. See, this is what I'm talking about. Democrats only want to look good, not actually be good, right? This is a moment to actually be good. But look at the chuckles.
Okay. I'm being serious now. This is the second time this happened. I said this before. There can be no fuzz on this. This is not funny. Okay? It's not okay. It's not okay to wish it happened.
He can't believe it. Bill Maher can't believe it. He's like, yo, like, this is not funny. Right? Oh, we want to unite the country. Yeah, that looks very uniting to me. Kamala Harris is the first presidential candidate in decades to skip historic Al Smith charity dinner. Harris' campaign told CNN that she would rather be on the campaign trail than to attend the event. Fetterman refuses to say why he and Kamala has flip-flopped on fracking. I make this commonly known in my channels that the number one reason that if Kamala Harris loses it would be for the fact that she did not have the trust of the American people. And why has she not have the trust of the American people, Kenny? Well, her flip-flopping on key issues like fracking that matters a lot to Pennsylvanians, especially the union workers that she failed to get their endorsement from. Also, for the fact that she doesn't clarify any of her current policy positions and why she end up changing her position on these things. She thinks just the appearance of change is enough to get the American voter. I don't think so. But before I continue, I want you guys to check out this clip. This is a 2-minute clip of the contrast between how Donald Trump answered questions and how Kamala Harris answered questions. And I think if you're an undecided voter, it's pretty clear who you should trust more in this election. Let's take a look.
How are you going to bring down the cost of food and groceries?
Good. Very good. Thank you. So we have to start always with energy. Always. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal, and we're going to get that. It's my ambition to get your energy bill within 12 months down 50%. If I can do that, you've done a hell of a job. 5-0, not 15, 50. Interest rates are going to follow, and actually they're going to follow for another reason. The economy is now not good, and interest rates, you'll see they'll do the rate cut and all the political stuff tomorrow, I think. And, you know, will he do a half a point? Will he do a quarter of a point? But the reason is because the economy is not good. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it. But we're going to get interest rates down, and we got to work with our farmers. Our farmers are being decimated right now. They're being absolutely decimated. And, you know, one of the reasons is we allow a lot of farm product into our country, and we're going to have to be a little bit like other countries. We're not going to allow so much we're going to let our farmers go to work.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that.
And people thought, there's some people out there, you know, like the MSNBC propagandists that I previously did a video today on, who think that that was an embarrassing interview for Kamala Harris. All right, this is how I think a rational human being is looking at the election right now. I don't think if you're not a one-issue voter, or you're not an emotional voter, or you're not led by appearances, because that's what Kamala Harris is trying to play. She's trying to play the appearance of looking like a moderate, right? She doesn't care about actually doing good by the people. She just wants to look good in front of the people. And I think that's some of the accountability that we have to hold these politicians accountable to, right? As you saw in the intro, I want to highlight how these experts, Paul Krugman, I reacted to him before when I was just starting out on my channel, when he was saying that, oh, we're not in recession. Actually, this is where the media was redefining what a recession was in 2021. And this same guy, to me, he's a liberal hack. He's an economist. And he was saying that Trump's economy was going to tank. Trump was going to tank the economy. And here's from 2019. This is Thomas Sowell and how he reacted to Trump's economy in 2019. So let's have a listen.
The economy is booming in a way that no one had predicted. People like Paul Krugman was saying that when Trump gets in, the economy is going to tank. No, the economy hit new highs. All right. But there are so many people among the intelligentsia, especially, who are absolutely immune to facts. It's as if they took their anti-fact shots every year, and the facts will just not affect them. So,
narrative. That's all these people have. They just have a narrative. And it's frustrating for like a voter like me who sees, you know, some of the evidence. Hey, let me look at the results of these policies. Price controls doesn't work, but Kamala Harris still is going to apply price controls. Kamala Harris has not proven any track record of actually using government funds effectively to create change. She had a $42 billion to create internet for rural America. Oh, I'm gonna keep hitting at this point. She had $42 billion to help create internet services and networks in rural America, and she has not even spent a single dime on those actual initiatives. Instead, she uses the money for something like climate change. Huh? That was not what these bills was appropriated for. It was supposed to give internet to rural America, but instead she's using that funds to push climate change initiatives. So when I see her policies, the opportunity economy, we're gonna spend $50 billion on this issue. We're gonna spend $50 billion on affordable housing. Yet you had billions of dollars, I forgot how much, sorry, to create charging stations, and you have only created 5. Those are some of the most expensive electric car charging stations I ever seen in my life. 50, I don't know how many billion dollars of taxpayer money, and they were only able to build 5, 10 of them. But then you're gonna make another, oh, I want to just create more stuff using money, but you don't have a track record of actually executing on it. And this is what I'm talking about with this election. We already know what we're gonna get in this election.
If Trump was going to destroy America, he would have done it in his first term. If Kamala Harris was going to help out America, she would have done it in her first term, okay? Stop with all the lies.
You got two people's track records, and you can make up, you can see obviously who's the better choice rationally. Just look at your experiences, look at your checkbook, look at look at your groceries, look at your cart when you push it down the grocery aisle. Go like me. I have a book commemorating when I had my first son in 2020, and in the book it said, "Hey, what was gas prices when your kid was born?" And me and my wife, we save a receipt for gas, and we looked up the average income for gasoline, and I was shocked every time I go back to look at my fond pictures. Oh, look at my first son when he was born. Oh, look what gas prices was when you were born, son. That was 4 years ago. I'm like, yo, I expected it to happen when my son's like 20 years old. But people want to keep focusing on abortion. Democrats want to keep focusing on abortion. And they wonder why they're losing the male vote. They wonder why men are trending away from them, to the point that they put out some crappy ad that every man in the world is mocking right now, which is the White Dudes for Harris campaign ad. I'm not going to play that monstrosity on this channel. Sorry, guys. You're not going to see it. But let me know if I can react to it. But I'm not going to put it on this clip. I'm not going to clip it in this video. But look at the results of abortion due to incestual relationships. 0.1. Life of the mother, 1/6%. 1/8% for if a woman was sexually assaulted. Like a decimal, I don't know how to say that, but the woman's physical health was threatened by the pregnancy. Women's psychological health was threatened. Like even mental health wise, women don't get abortions that much. There was a serious fetal abnormality, like 0.6. The woman aborted for social or economic reasons, 6.2. And everything else, 92%, no reasons, elective abortions. So when conservatives come up and say, okay, we believe in safe, legal, and rare, how about we ban abortions for elective reasons, which makes up 92% of abortions? This is why when you try to compromise with the left doesn't compromise on anything when it comes to abortion. Could we agree to only ban abortions that's not in the threat of the mother, rape, or incest? No, I don't believe in limiting it just to those things. Okay, then you're not arguing for those things. So stop using those things as a shield to justify the rule. The rule is most women get abortions for their convenience. That's the reality. But you want men to vote on that issue? Huh? You want people, the media, these American elites, which are Democrats, want you to vote based on Donald Trump's racist, emotional reasons? Get out of here with this crap. And I want to, before I end off this video, I want to highlight this clip that I found of this man the moment he stopped believing Trump was a racist, because he did his own research. And that's why everyone's laughing at the White Dudes for Harris campaign ad. In the campaign ad for the White Dudes for Harris, the guy's like, I was doing my own research and I found out. Everyone's like, yo, if you do your own research, there's no way you're voting for Kamala Harris. And this is an example of why. I digress. Let's take a look.
I made a video the other day asking people When was the moment that they came to the conclusion Donald Trump is racist? A lot of people said the Central Park 5. We'll talk about that in another video. For me personally, it was the very fine people on both sides thing.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
I remember seeing that clip and feeling like, wow, maybe he is racist. And I just happened to come across this video on YouTube. It basically said that the clip was edited and that I should go back and watch the entire clip. So I watched the entire thing. It got to that point where he says very fine people on both sides. And I'm like, see, that's exactly, I knew he said that. There's no point in me even continuing to watch this. And then it goes on and it gets to the part where he's like.
And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
So he said he wasn't talking about the neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Why would they show me part of the story and make me feel like this? Even in the presidential debate against Joe Biden, he brought up the very
making me feel like this. This is the media's game. This is why Democrats hate accountability, because then when you play down their rhetoric and you say, "Hey, look, you say Trump inspired violence for less." His rhetoric, like if you look at Trump's rhetoric against the left, and you look at the left's rhetoric against the right, the left's rhetoric against Donald Trump. If you have the quotes in your, like, that's why I told people, write it down. Quote Donald Trump, all his attacks on Kamala Harris, and Biden and Democrats in general, and you write down how Democrats characterizes Donald Trump, and you're gonna see the rhetoric is worse on paper. If I didn't tell you, like if you didn't know who the quotes came from, and I put two, I say, hey, which one you think is more politically violent rhetoric? I believe many people on the street will say the Democrat side. But the Democrats don't want to take accountability for this. And this is what's the problem with politics. It seems like a lot of politicians, especially on the left, do not want to take accountability for nada, zilch, nothing they do. And this is why they hate getting called out. This is why they hate people on the internet blaming Kamala Harris for the economy, even though she's part of the damn administration right now. Make it make sense. We can't have 4 more years of this. Famous last words of Tim Walz on a campaign trail. Yes, you're right, Tim Walz. We can't have 4 more years of this. And who is responsible for governing these 4 years of this? Democrats. But in 2024, you expect people to do the insane thing and vote your vice president to be Madam President? Oh, hell no. Let's continue.
very fine people thing.
He said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas were fine people?
Kamala Harris just brought it up on the recent debate.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
People are still saying it even though it's been debunked. Snopes just added this shit in 2024 that was a lie. He supposedly said in 2017. He dropped out of a presidential race because white supremacists joined his same party.
I'm not going to be running. The party is, as you know, self-destructing.
When you say the party is self-destructing, what do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
Then you find that clip of him with Jesse Jackson.
Beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency.
Imagine that. First black man's bid for presidency in the 1980s. Donald Trump was the one supporting him. He was getting medals by the AACP. Right, and it goes back to my first video, because this video is building upon what I stated in the last video about the MSNBC propaganda, Democrat propaganda, especially the black Democrat propaganda, is that they want to sit here and make you believe that because you vote for Donald Trump, you're not a good black person, right? That you're a coon. Oh, you're a house ninja. But they're the biggest house ninjas, because they're calling a man racist who actually did something for the black community with his own money, his own time, giving opportunities to many black entrepreneurs. But no, he has to be a racist. We have to categorize him. And the playbook is getting stale, Democrats. That's all I'm trying to say. It's getting stale. Should we continue? I mean, should we continue? Based on that, there should be some doubt about how the media characterizes Donald Trump. And this is the kind of things they want you to vote for. We want to vote on character, right? Because they hope to trigger that mental conditioning that the media has been actively doing. So that way you think about how Donald Trump's a racist. Yeah, the media told me Donald Trump's a racist. This is the echo chamber that many Democrats fall into. Black people are the most loyal Democratic vote in America. So don't both sides this argument. You can't both sides this because black people don't vote for both sides. They only vote for one side, and that's the Democratic Party. So if you're really about our black people need to do better, then how can you get better if you keep doing the same? That's my argument as a conservative. You've been voting Democrat for 70 plus years, and you still complaining about the same damn thing every damn year. Complaining about how you're in an abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. And then when Donald Trump comes up along and says, what do you have to lose? You pretend you have everything to lose if you vote for a Republican. Make it make sense, black people. So inflation increasing compared to the two administrations by 20% since 2021, that's not hurting you? And you wonder why Malcolm X in the 1960s called black Democrats not only a traitor to their race, but political chumps. Y'all chumps. Getting taken advantage of by our party, giving it undying loyalty. And then you want to condemn anyone who questions that orthodoxy. Politics has almost become akin to a religion. Make it make sense. When politics is about to be it's supposed to be about practicality, execution, logic, rationale, not emotional platitudes like what Kamala Harris is trying to preach to you in the video with Oprah, appealing to your emotions. Last time I checked, no one makes good decisions on emotions. I'm just saying. But this is the kind of garbage that these people want you to vote on. We got to vote on decency. What decency means? Calling someone a Hitler, calling your political rivals Hitler, waging lawfare with the appearance of political motive on Donald Trump. Is that decency? But people don't come to that. These things don't come to most people's minds because of the conditioning from the mainstream media, the corporate media. They just want you to focus on Trump, 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 Trump. Remember, corporate media cover Trump 89% of the time negatively. They cover Kamala Harris 87% of the time positively. You don't think that could warp someone's perception if they only listen to corporate media? And guess who's the only political party that trusts the mainstream media? Majority of them trust the mainstream media. Democrats, 58%. Every other group, independents, Republicans, most of them do not trust the mainstream media. So the group of people who needs to hear this the most will be the less likely to hear it. Make it make sense, guys. I mean, I'm done. I think I'm done talking. I think I made my point. These politicians, American, they hate accountability. And one reason why I will vote for Donald Trump is Trump will be held accountable if he doesn't fall through with what he claims. You know how I know that? The mainstream media. 89% of the time, they'll cover Trump negatively. That means if Trump gives them any ammo, any mistake, if Trump even fails, like they do with the border wall, they always complain about, oh, Trump wasn't able to get the border wall, forgetting that his own party, the Republicans, got in the way of him doing that. Democrats got in the way of doing that. Literally, the two parties, it was a bipartisan issue. Democrats and Republicans got in the way of Donald Trump's border wall. And then when he runs for 2020, they'll say, oh, yeah, you didn't put up the border wall. You said he was going to put up the border wall. I thought you said Mexico was going to pay for it. You weren't working with the guy. We elected a guy in the congressman, in the Congress, in the House, and the government. Our government didn't work with Donald Trump. And now this same government is out here endorsing Kamala Harris. You got Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney endorsing Donald Trump, claiming that, hey, if populism is still prominent in the Republican Party, that the Never Trumpers will make an effort to create another party and blow up the Republican Party. Liz Cheney said that. But Donald Trump isn't the change agent? Huh? Like, if you're doing if you're doing your own research, not influenced by the corporate media press, this is the conclusion you come to. But I digress. I think I made my point already. Let me know your thoughts about it, about my angle on this stuff. Do you agree with my angle? Don't agree with my angle? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.